Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. This is going to be fun. This is a live show, and these are arguably my favorite shows to do because it's immediate interaction. It's, bi-directional. I hear from you, you hear from me. We just kind of hang out together. The hair today, wow. And I just got a haircut. Hold on a second. I'm going to comb my hair right now. I just got a haircut. The problem is I also washed it this morning and didn't put anything in it. So it's just like all of my cowlicks and all this stuff going on. But you didn't come here to check out my hair. Or at least I hope not. Today, we are going to be doing a couple of fun things. We're going to be going through a little haul of things that I got from a local thrift store, which is it's an adventure. This store is an adventure. So I'll tell you about that. And we're going to be doing a giveaway a little bit later. So stay tuned for that. I'm feeling better. The cold of the century is finally leaving. I've got some hot tea here in my giant gift cup. These are those, like, you used to get them at Kmart all the time. They were like for the holidays and stuff. It would have like brownie mix in it and a utensil and a big plastic thing. Now it's just a very massive vessel for holding a lot of red zinger tea from Celestial Seasonings. So welcome in, everybody. Thanks for the people shouting out in the chat. If you haven't done so already, hit the thumbs up button. That would be helpful. Is the giveaway international? Yes, we're going to make it international. Yes, we are. We don't do enough international stuff. This will be small enough that it won't completely break the bank if I have to ship internationally. So yes, we will make this international. So we're going to be doing 2 items, and those items will be discussed in more detail down the road. So first of all, I just want to say thank you for being there. As always, all of the support day in and day out. And was curious what you guys are up to lately, what you are looking for vinyl-wise, turntables, projects, things that you've been up to lately. For me, I was working on a short. I thought I had this idea for a video, and it wasn't quite enough meat on the bone to justify a full long-form video. So I was going to make a short. And what it was going to be was me fixing my reel-to-reel, my Akai beautiful reel-to-reel tape deck. It is having a problem. It's not a massive game over kind of problem, but it's worth fixing. So essentially the RCA jack, the left RCA input jack, has got a short in it, cold solder joint, something like that. And so I thought it'd be easy enough to just reflow the solder points, open it up. And again, I filmed a video vertical on my phone, just doing a basic thing. And I can't get it to work. I can't get any sound out of that channel. It does have a DIN connection. And educate me, is a DIN connection indicative of both in and out? Because I've got an RCA input, an RCA output, and then between them is a DIN connection. And I think our DIN connections can go in or out. So is it as simple as getting a DIN to RCA female, and then it will then use that as an input? I tried the mic inputs on the front, and I wasn't able to get hardly any level out of those. So I've heard too that even though it looks like it's just a bad connection from the left channel standpoint, that it may be something, it could even be an IC issue or a head issue or something like that. I'm not sure. So anyway. Marcus, wow, this is a deep cut question. What is your opinion of Buddy DeFranco-led Glenn Miller? Also the Glenn Miller band led by Peanuts Hucko. Peanuts Hucko. So it's a good question. I think I've got examples of both back here. Hold on. I'm getting to the point now where I feel like I almost have every Glenn Miller LP out there. Now watch, I won't be able to find it. Here we go. This is a Buddy DeFranco era. I don't think there's another Buddy DeFranco. Cool cover. There weren't as many Peanuts Hucko releases. Anyway, my opinion is I think they're fine. It's interesting. I really feel that it's very 70s era Glenn Miller, right? So I forget which came first. I think Peanuts came first after Ray McKinley and then Buddy DeFranco, if I remember correctly. And both of them really tried to stretch the mold. So there's a lot of new material, like, Glenn Miller plays the Beatles, and Glenn Miller plays the hits of the 60s. And there's a Tijuana Brass Glenn Miller album. And so it's kind of like the Glenn Miller sound applied to new music versus just cranking out over and over those Glenn Miller hits. So, which I think is fine, because there's plenty of Glenn Miller hits music and albums out there. So why not have something else extra? It's not usually the first stuff that I go for, but it's something that I do appreciate. It's definitely something that is worth listening to. And it's pretty collectible too, because it's not, like I said, you don't see it as often as you see other stuff. But I'm for it. I think it's great. I know that after those guys left, that the band, starting in the early 80s, what was the guy's name? I even saw him live. He was the leader from like the early 80s to about 2012, 2011. Who's retired now in Hawaii. He really brought it back to the classics. And instead of, the band's evolving mode that had been doing kind of since the 50s, evolving to adapt to the current era, he really brought it back into the fold of, we're here to play the hits for the people that remember our music. And I think the audience has changed too. But no, I think it's good music. I also have some Peanuts Hucko music and a very cool, rare record. I have one or two of these records from Elitch Gardens back in Denver, where they would have these jazz recordings at the Trocadero Ballroom, an old big band ballroom. Glenn Miller hardly ever played in Denver. He never played in Denver. Once he made it, like once, by the mid 30s, Glenn Miller he never played Denver. Everybody else played Denver. Benny Goodman, Tommy Dorsey, all those guys would go to like the Trocadero and other ballrooms in the area, but Glenn Miller was never there. Ironically, this was a recording in the 70s at the Trocadero, and he was there, Peanuts Hucko. So, and it's got his autograph. It got his autograph on there too. Old Radios, welcome in. Roscoe, the movie, says, I would like to know if you have any idea why the TIAC all-in-one stereo is discontinued or hard to get. It's considered one of the best such units and possible to get in US. I don't know. I have not heard. I'm not very educated on the TIAC brand, especially anything new. I don't know. Is it new? Tell me more about what it is. What is your favorite album by Pink Floyd? So, as it happens to be, I'm not a huge rock and roll fan. Okay, I like the Beatles, love the Beatles. I do have a collection of rock music, and when it comes to bands like Pink Floyd, got absolutely nothing against them. If the music comes on, fine, but I'm not going to go seek it out. So I don't have any. All I know is Dark Side of the Moon, just because I know of it, and that you can sync it up to Wizard of Oz. I've got a lot more to learn, which is fun though, because you know what? I was kind of like that with the Beatles, and then one day, something snapped, and I really wanted to learn about them, and it was fun learning. So, Gary Toll, Gary Toll is after. This is the person. Gary Toll led the band for a very short amount of time, and then Nick Hilscher took over in like 2010, 2011, and he was the leader until 2020. Nick Hilscher is my all-time favorite. I actually know him. In fact, I chatted with him on Messenger this morning. He's a great guy, a great family man, and he's the real deal. And under his tutelage, the band really did things that it hadn't done in decades, including playing some of those old army numbers with the full orchestra and everything. And now Eric, what's his name? I want to say Eric Stoltz. That's an actor. Eric Stabnow is the current director. And he's doing his thing. It's a completely different flavor. I don't prefer it as much as I did the Nick Hilscher era. But yeah, Gary Toll was in there as well. But no, I'm thinking about, I got to look it up now because it's going to drive me nuts. He did all the stuff in the 80s and the 90s. Larry O'Brien. Okay. So here's the chain of custody. You've got Glenn, obviously. Then you got Tex. Then you got Ray McKinley. Buddy DeFranco came first. Then Peanuts. Then Buddy Morrow. I forgot about him. Jimi Henderson. Dick Gerhardt. Larry O'Brien. Gary Toll. Nick Hilscher. And now we've got Eric Stabnow. Old Radios. I didn't get any records. My nerves are fried from all the storms. I'm not in a buying mood when I'm anxious. Interesting. Well, hang in there. I hope the stress is relieved. I've had an extremely stressful week. If you only knew. Yeah. So it's been a stressful week for me too. I'm very thankful here. Thank God we made it. I literally mean that. Jeremy says, I've been testing out a UA Key 35 watt amplifier. Hi-fi stereo. It works as both a receiver or a preamp. Interesting. Not bad for a $40 device. With tubes. Wow, that's incredible. Layla, welcome in from the UK. The Frugal Audiophile. Yeah, Eric Stoltz was hired to play Marty McFly. Yeah, right before Michael J. Fox. By the way, if you guys know of Adam the Woo, my wife and I love Adam the Woo's show. It's great. I've been able to be on there one time. I was two times, but only one really. Other time I was kind of way off in the background. I was like a 3 or 4 pixel area in the background. But I did run into him at the same thrift store I went to today. I'll tell you about that. But he did a video he has 2 channels. So he's got the Daily Woo, which is his main channel. And then he's got Adam the Woo. If you go to his Adam the Woo channel on YouTube, he did like an 1.5-hour breakdown of the scene from Back to the Future that starts in the soda shop. And, he shoves Biff and he goes out and steals a skateboard and they go running around and Biff chases him and the manure falls on him. And the leftover shots of Eric Stoltz that are sprinkled throughout. It's kind of interesting. It's like, all right, now that's Eric Stoltz's leg, and that's actually Michael J. Fox in that shot. It's interesting. It really is. All right. So yeah, one project is that tape deck, and I don't know what to do at this point. If you can give me some advice on the DIN connection, that's kind of my project that's sitting on the workbench, aka studio table. So I went today to Hope Thrift. Now, I've said it before, the thrift stores down here are nutty to me because I'm not used to them. Back in Colorado, we had Goodwill. And it was very corporate, but it's still a thrift store. It still smells like a thrift store. You know what I mean? It smells like damp old clothes. And they had there's a couple other ones too. There was Salvation Army. There was, a couple different, there's maybe 3 or 4 different chains, and they would be sprinkled throughout the metro area. Well, here it's different. Up in Orlando, they have a couple thrift stores that are like chains, but down in the like Kissimmee Celebration area, there isn't anything like that. Down here, they have things like Hope Thrift. It's kind of a chain, but it's very private at the same time because it looks like everyone's very different. It's like a mom and pop shop, or they have little private thrift stores. And when you go in there, it's not like this clean presentation, open aisles. It's like doomsday overload of stocking millions of items. So there'll be like a certain plate, some plates, and there'll be like 4,000 of them packed on the wall. There'll be certain shoes, same size, same color, same style, and like 200 boxes of the shoe. They have the typical stuff mixed in there too. They have old clothes and they have old records, books, and tapes, and things like that. And they have, overload of printers and things like that too, and electronics. There's a heck of a lot of DVD players. And because we're near Disney, there's the requisite Disney World leftover stuff. So some old Disney World resort phones that have like the buttons like to press to call for room service or to have your wake up call and stuff like that. And it's very hit or miss. It's very hit or miss. It's very raw thrifting, if you know what I mean. So it's taken some getting used to. And same thing with the antique stores. I don't see many, in our area, unfortunately. Although maybe it's good. My wife's like, maybe it's better that way because otherwise you would spend way too much money doing that. Put in there live, Paul here in the UK. Hey, another friend from the UK. Paul, welcome in. Good to see your voice is back. Yeah. Is Rain going to do any more shows? We were just talking about that today. Do you guys want to see more Rain? I do. So maybe we'll talk her into doing some more. Roscoe says, I wonder if there's any all-in-one that is of that level of quality. The all-in-ones, it's an interesting thing. There are some pretty cool all-in-ones, and we reviewed quite a few. Jack, welcome in. The all-in-one concept, I think, is good. For somebody who just wants a little music center, you know what I mean? They don't want like a component system necessarily. Why not? You got the 1898 home on either June 11th or 12th. Oh, cool. That'll be neat. You'll have to let me know how that goes. All right. So anyway, I went in there today looking for whatever electronic. I did see an old Innovative Technology, which is the brand that bought Victrola. So older Victrola stuff is actually branded as IT or Innovative Technology. It was a pretty cheap not all in one. It was just a record player. I think it might have been a semi-automatic, but they wanted $45 for it. I was like, ew. I did pick up a super cheapo for $15 record player last time I went in. I haven't done the show on that lately. I was toying with doing that for this weekend show. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, I looked at records, I looked at books, I looked at CDs and tapes, and you never know what they're going to have. So today, I got a handful of stuff. This is like $12, okay? First is I got Beatles. Now, finding the Beatles at a thrift store, I've never seen Beatles anything at a thrift store, but I found it today. It's one of the tapes from the 67 to 70 set, and this is a 73 issue, I believe. So we've got the old, that's gross. I need to clean these. And actually, I've got some Clorox wipes, and we're going to do it in real time. Real fun. Let's watch and hang out and clean stuff together. But yeah, check out this J card. I mean, this is grungy old stuff, but pretty cool. And yeah, I don't know if this is tape 1 or 2. Strawberry Fields Forever. I'm trying to think if that's the beginning of the first or the second. I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to be productive. Yeah, that's a good find. It was $1. It was $1. So I was thankful for that. All right. Keep commenting, guys. Questions, anything. We don't, just because I'm doing this right now doesn't mean that we have to stop talking about whatever. I always take the Clorox wipes to this stuff because you never know. You never know. I always get worried when I bring home a record or something and my dog's super interested in smelling it. You're like, what does she smell that I don't know? And I'm going to clean the tape off. By the way, Clorox wipes do not have Clorox bleach in them or any bleach. They are just disinfectant wipes. Look at that. Ew. Let's not do that, okay? Yeah, get this cleaned up here. Usually the media is clean. It's usually the case, but this time it's like, what happened? You know what I mean? It makes you worry. Ooh, and look at the color that's coming out. Ooh, nasty. Oof. Good grief. Hopefully that's the worst of it. You imagine I paid money for something like that? And do I need another copy of this album? No, but there you go. For $1 though. Right, exactly. For $1. What's your opinion on A Hard Day's Night? The movie? The album? So a friend of mine recently gave me the Criterion Collection edition of it. Which, if you don't know, the Criterion Collection DVDs are they're like, if audiophile was for video, that would be what they are. They're just like higher end. And I've watched the beginning of it a couple of times, but I haven't got too far into it yet. I think it's okay. I think it's good. It's interesting to see, the boys, as it were. So anyway, yeah, there's our first find for $1. I'll take it. No problem. Even if it had a little dookie on it or something. Paul says, spent 70 pounds in a secondhand record shop today. Some Yes, Jethro Tull, Gary Newman, and Two-Way Arm. Nice. Sounds like a good haul. Jeremy says, we used to have a ton of mom and pop thrift stores in my area now, but it's mostly chains. The biggest non-chain one that's worthwhile is Disabled Veterans Thrift Store. Yeah. Oh, man, we've supported the DAV for years, donating. Just a Guy says, I will say the best deal I ever got a record was on Black Friday, and I found a limited edition Metallica red and black swirl record and a book, and due to having the two, I got it free. Wow, that is a great deal. That is crazy. I always clean my records from secondhand shops before playing them. That's smart. Okay, next up, and this is all very, the Beatles, we probably can all agree we would all snag that. This stuff you guys have looked over and not looked twice, but for me, this is stuff that was interesting. So this is a Laserlight digital CD. And Laserlight Digital is like a value brand, but they've got some good stuff if you are a collector of kind of like rare recordings of like big band artists and things like that. And the quality isn't bad. But yeah, this is Glenn Miller's World War II broadcast. I really love the military output that Glenn did, and I was not aware of this. It's a nice picture disc. We got the laser light digital. Even the tape said laser light digital. We've got the jewel case with the clear backing. Typically, value issues like this would not have any booklet. This one actually has something. So let's see what we got here. Some sort of booklet. So it actually has liner notes. I always hate it when you get like an album and then like there's nothing. It's like really, you just kind of feel like you got ripped off. Like, wow, you just wanted me to give you money. But no, this looks like a good release. So military, Glenn Miller era stuff. Very collectible for those of us Glenn Miller fans. This one seems pretty clean. I tossed that. I'm still going to go over this with another wipey. That one is straight to the bin because it had brown stuff. I don't want any brown stuff. Okay. Acer says, I haven't gone thrift store hunting in a while, though I did get a record with Braille on the cover from Walmart a few months ago. That's cool. What was it? Next up, I am a year-round Christmas fan. Old Radio says, I got a stylus for my Technics 2000 and it sounds amazing. Cool. Really cool. With the Empire cart. Oh, I got my Empire 50, ID 50 right here. I need to get the stylus for this bad boy. Look at the generator on that thing. It's huge. Huge. See if we can turn it the right way. Also, why am I drifting? Yeah, that's cool. Looking at myself in reverse on there. So anyway, Perry Como sings Merry Christmas music. And I didn't have any Perry Como on CD, I don't think. So it's all the, classic Christmas hits there. This looks like a Canadian pressing, which is cool. Yes, a Canadian issue. Camden, RCA. I think it's interesting that RCA carried over the Camden budget label even onto other media besides vinyl. If you ever come across a Camden record label and you're wondering why did RCA do that, it was a budget label, but how they did it is kind of interesting. They actually came up with agreements with the artists, and the agreements would the agreement would be that the artists would get limited or no royalties. It must have been limited. They wouldn't agree to no royalties. So the artist royalties were slashed, and then the profit increase because of that was fed back into the price point. So basically, they turned the artist margin, into a discount. So you could get the same quality pressings. That's what's awesome about Camden. It's the same quality as an RCA Victor pressing physically. The same artist, the same music. It's just on a budget thing. So it's usually reissues, greatest hits, and stuff like that. Whittier from Finland. What the heck? Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate hanging out with everybody. Are thrift stores in the U.S. the same as charity shops in the U.K.? I've heard people describe that before. So that's my understanding, is that a thrift store is the same as a charity shop. Okay. And when I was a kid, my grandma used to take me there. And she would go, my grandma was in permanent depression era mode. And I don't mean that she was depressed. I mean that she was in the mode of somebody who had lived through the Great Depression here in the United States, meaning that she was extremely frugal. She bought discount everything. She bought discount stuff that you didn't know you could buy discount. She would buy 3-liter sodas that were like weird flavors like pineapple and strawberry by brands you've never heard of from grocery stores that nobody else could find. And yeah, I don't know why I'm telling you. Oh yeah, thrift store. So she would take me to the thrift store, and I remember being excited to look for jean jackets. Little me in the 80s, a jean jacket or Nike shoes. That would be really exciting. Okay, here's that Camden CD, that Perry Como. Very indicative of an early era CD, 80s era. That's an 87 issue. Before they really decided to do the picture disc thing. This thing looks pristine, though. It looks really well taken care of. It does have the budget label, so it's a gatefold. This is back when CDs had the disclaimer for old music, like may contain hiss and pops due to the nature of the analog recordings contained therein. People thought that, digital, they've made it instantly sound perfect just because it's on a CD. So yeah, this is 15 tracks of Christmas music. Perry Como, classic big band singer. One of the ones that made it. Not a lot of those. Every big band in the 30s and 40s had a boy singer and a girl singer. And very few of those singers had breakout success past the big band era. The most notable success is probably on the male side would probably be Frank Sinatra. It's sung with Harry James and Tommy Dorsey. Perry Como is a breakout. Ella Fitzgerald was a breakout. She sang with the Chick Webb Orchestra and actually led the Chick Webb Orchestra when he passed away. And she went on to phenomenal success. But Rosemary Clooney and many others, and I can't think of them off the top of my head, did make it. But from a percentage standpoint, not everybody that was singing with the big bands made it, but he did. He is one that did. Patsy Cline or Madonna, and why? Are you trolling me? Okay, of course Patsy Cline. And I do listen to Madonna as well. I'm not a Madonna hater. Patsy Cline or Madonna, I'm not going to go into the details of why. Obviously, it's a lot of its preference of talent or engineering. Okay, that was cruel. I wasn't trying to be mean, but my preference is definitely Patsy Cline. I will just say that. Bing Crosby with Paul Whitman. Exactly, another example. Japanese presses from the 80s are great. Agreed. Fago says old radios. Fill me in. I feel like I'm missing something. Sanad Khan Mahmood, welcome in. I bought a lot of 48 VG Plus records for $76. I paid that twice, one for the records and the other half for shipping. I got them. They are amazing. Did I get a good deal? It depends. There's so many variables. There's so many variables there. It could be a great deal. First of all, if it's what you like and you enjoy it, then it was worth it. That's the only thing that really matters. But interesting. Yeah, that could be a good deal. That's a lot of music. That's a lot. And VG Plus is good condition. Absolutely. Frugal Audiophile. My grandma would buy those 3-liter sodas from Aldi. They were not good. And I didn't get a lot of soda as a kid, so it's like soda. So I probably didn't notice the difference. We Are the World, a 12-inch pressing, 45 RPM, $10 in antique store. That's a good find. Just ordered 3 Agnes Kahn records. I'm a fan. That's awesome. I was so disappointed when I saw there was $1 tag on the Patsy Cline record. Were you disappointed because it should be higher? Paul loves Paul Whitman. Well, you got the name in the right place anyway. Paul Whitman was sort of forgotten to a lot of people now. But, in the world of big band music, he really was instrumental in making jazz music mainstream pop music. Because really, pop music of the late 30s and 40s was jazz music, and he was instrumental in that. By the way, fun fact, if you have the Glenn Miller Carnegie Hall concert album, that was actually an ASCAP ceremony, and multiple bands played that day, including Benny Goodman and Paul Whitman as well. Pacer says, I'm taking all my good records with me when I leave for school soon. I'm currently using a Snap and Store box. I'll use my Revolution Go. Excellent. Good luck with school. Whittier says, Hong Kong star covering John Denver in the 80s. The kicker's that came with all the original sleeves. That was mint. Wow, that was a good find. Early pressing. Very cool. All right, next thing I picked up. Showboat. Now, this one is not in fantastic condition. As you can see, the jewel case is fine, but there's some water damage. I hope it's water to the inset of the liner notes, even under the plastic in the back. Normally, I would run screaming from something in this condition, but this is very collectible, and for me specifically. This is a... what am I trying to say? It's a movie music release from Turner Classic Movies. And in the 90s, the late 90s, they issued a lot of classic musicals, old school musicals like this, like Showboat, on this label. And they were fantastically packaged. The first one I think I ever got was a Wizard of Oz soundtrack. And this is no exception. So see the gold at the top, original motion picture soundtrack? It's like kind of a gold with a little point at the bottom. That's how you can tell. And then on the side here, we've got the gold again. Movie music, Turner Classic, Showboat, and they're just fantastic. So you get picture disc. You get the clear jewel case with the artwork, the photos, and then you get a very thick, look how thick that booklet is. You get a very thick booklet. And again, but for $1 though, right? So I'm trying to bulk up on these. I've also got one with Lena Horne music from MGM, but this is just, I mean, look at this. Here, let me get this. I'm really having a hard time lining this up with the camera today. So you've got complete liner notes with all sorts of details, pictures. It's just really well designed, really well done. So anyway, I recommend these if you ever if you like movie music. I definitely recommend it. But check out how nasty that. I'm going to replace that. I'm just going to take that whole thing off. But for $1, Showboat, can't pass it up. Jerome Kern, Oscar Hammerstein. And they cram a lot of music. Look how many tracks are on this thing. It's like 25 tracks, something like that. 29 tracks. So, yeah, there we go. That was a good deal. And I'm looking forward to finding more of those. It's hard to find this stuff in thrift stores. Okay. Those so far, everything I've shown has been $1 each. The CD and the CDs and the tape. Mostly collect Japanese and Asian pop from the 70s and 80s. That's cool. That's really cool. All right, we got a couple more. So these are 2 of a set. And then we'll do the giveaway. International giveaway. Okay, so Laserlight again, and Laserlight and Madison were like the 2 budget brands, and usually it was a too good to be true kind of thing. So you'd see a famous artist, and it would be a bunch of songs from that artist that you never heard of, or they would be low quality recordings. I wouldn't go so far as to say bootleg recordings, but they were known to not have the best quality sometimes. But they also produced a lot of very good material. Like I said, it's pretty rare and hard to find elsewise. And they did everything. You can get Patsy Cline music on Laserlight. You get Glenn Miller music on Laserlight. It just depends. So I had not seen these before. And I'm really glad I picked them up. So again, 2 of a set. I believe I've got, this is 12301 and 12300. We'll start with 300. Again, $1 each. World War II radio broadcast by Bing Crosby himself. And this music is very special because when Bing Crosby went overseas, he performed for the troops. And, it's something that I can definitely see him doing. And he was very supportive of things like the V-Disc project, of going to the front lines and being there for the troops. Check that picture disc out. That's super cool. I'm very terrible about checking CDs before I buy it. I've bought empty CD cases before because I'm too quick on the draw. The insert is there's a little gatefold here. Some copy. We got a cool picture on the back. It looks like he's christening it. He's crossing off things off of this sign. But what's really, really cool about this is there was, and this is what I want to look into this for. There is some very, 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 very rare audio that exists, barely, of Bing Crosby singing with the Glenn Miller Orchestra. He knew Glenn Miller well. He was actually friends with him. And when he went overseas in November of 44, November of 44, early December. It was before Glenn went missing in December. December 15th is when Glenn went missing of 44. So I think this would have been November, late November. He went overseas and he stayed with the Glenn Miller Orchestra and did some recording. And those recordings are pretty rare. And there's some very, very patchy audio that exists. But it's if we were to find something like that, that would be amazing. Now, when I see something like this, I think in the back of my head, well, maybe there's something like that on here. And probably not. This is probably all other stuff. But like this says March 9th, 44. So that wouldn't be it. But anyway, along those lines and the history of it really, plays into my interest in something like this. The other last thing is this. It's the next volume in the set. So the same idea, Laserlight digital, I paid $1 each for these. Very nice presentation, especially for a budget label. I think they did a good job. So let's see. This one is January of 45. So this would have been right after Glenn went missing. So anyway, an interesting thing to have here. Hopefully some music I haven't heard before. I love compact disc, and I know not everybody gets that, and they're like, they've long moved on and don't have any way to play a CD. But I still love CDs. I do. I listen to them all the time. It's a great lossless format. 16-bit, 44.1K. Lossless. It's just great. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. And, some people swear that CDs are going to wear out, or they're going to just fade away, or they're going to get disc rot. I've had one CD in the tens of thousands of CDs I've owned over the years ever to have disc rot. When you buy a brand new CD and it's really stuck on the spindle tight? This one came off just like that. This might have never been played. Looking at the condition on the back, got a little dust on there, but maybe this was never played. In my experience, almost every single CD is still working perfect. I don't think I have any that just don't play anymore. I've got one with disc rot that I picked up at a thrift store, but it was like $1. So I picked up another one for $1 that doesn't, and the problem is solved. So this big idea that, you're going to be fighting disc rot, and eventually it'll fade away. The sound will just fade away, which it won't. It's not going to do that. And people, I think, don't fundamentally understand how a CD works. So if you don't know, here you go. Why am I doing this? I just have a tendency to talk too much. Okay, so you've got a polycarbonate disc. On the opposite side of the disc, this is just the clear polycarbonate side. On the other side of the disc, under this label, is a thin layer of aluminum. That's what gives it the metallic shininess. That aluminum is covering the opposite side of the polycarbonate, which is also clear. And that polycarbonate is physically pressed with pits and pits and pits and lands. That's what it's called, pits and lands. So basically, digital ups and downs, and the sequence of those being read is translated back into binary code. So the thin metal layer on top of the pressed surface with physical, mechanical, actual pits in it is covered with that aluminum layer. The aluminum layer is just there to cause a reflection, so the laser can reflect its light back into itself. And then on top of that is another layer which is a label. That's all there is to it. And sometimes what can happen in certain cases is and it's sealed around the edge. Did you know there's people that actually paint the outside of their CDs black because they feel that the light scatter is minimized and it gives a better reading? I think Tecmo even did a video on that. Anyway, there it is. But what can happen is sometimes, and there's a little fogginess up there. Wouldn't it be funny if this actually had disc rot? If the edges aren't sealed properly, sometimes moisture can get in between the aluminum layer and can just rot. And that's what that is. And it can make it unplayable. But there you go. Compact discs. I love them. They sound great. It's like a field day for CD people. CDs used to be the premium, expensive format. You have to spend $25 to get a copy of anything. Now it's pennies on the dollar. It's like a field day for CDs. And the sound quality is just incredible. And a compact, they still give you the physical form factor. There's new players coming out. There's stuff that's only available on CD, just like there's stuff that's only available on vinyl. Anyway, there you go. Okay, I'm off my rant. I apologize. Now we're going to do a giveaway. We are going to do a giveaway. And whatever else you guys want to chat about. Jack's ready to win. Let's stop talking about stuff and let's get to winning. I agree. Wow. So in the USA, everything is either really expensive or best bargain of your life. Am I missing out? I live in Jordan. It depends. I mean, it's certain things. We have an influx of product here. Chinese made goods are plentiful. So you can get certain items for cheap that, some of my friends down in South America will tell me, oh, that would be so expensive down here because there's not a delivery there's not a logistics chain in place to get those products down there. There's everything. There's cheap, there's expensive. Absolutely. For records, you can find cheap records. Oftentimes they're not great, but you can definitely find expensive records. Absolutely. Whittier, snake oil. What's the snake oil? The painting the outside black around the edge? There's so many people that swear by so many things. It's so subjective too, right? Ivy Poison, welcome in. Hello, everyone. Speaking of thrift stores finds, my most recent Goodwill finds include a Creedence Clearwater Revival. Love those guys. Cassette, Best of Dire Straits, also good on CD, and an Elvis cassette box. Happy listening. That's great. Awesome, Nolan. Happy to do it. I hope you're having fun with it. It's a fun thing to do for sure. Okay. Before I announce the giveaway and conduct the giveaway, I want to remind you that the 45 adapter, specifically this guy right here, our Sky Blue limited edition, is on sale right now. Sorry, a little tickle in my throat. And this is our exclusive color that cycles out. So we've got the orange one all the time. I don't know where one is right now. And then we do these exclusive temporary colors. There's a link down below. And this ships internationally as well. Hold on one second, guys. I got a cough. Okay, sorry about that. I'm still getting over the cold, so every once in a while I still have it. You should put that in the giveaway. I'm not going to give away this one, but hold on, stay tuned. When after these are no longer available for sale, I like to do the leftover stock as giveaway. So that's kind of what we're doing today. Record club CDs were most prone to disc rot. Interesting. So the lower quality production, Jeremy. Just bought a Technics 100C. Awesome. Technics rules. I agree. I love Technics. Do you have movie soundtracks on vinyl? I've got a whole selection of them. I should do a show about those. Ralph says, yes, indeed. I got my U-turn orbit because of this channel. Awesome. I love U-turn orbits. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, you're right about the eBay listings. It's like, it's hard to tell, the size of something or the quality of something. Project rules. Yeah, Project is great stuff. Do I have it for my 200, 1200 debut carbon Evo? It's a great one. Is that the one with like the frosted acrylic platter? You can replace a belt, but you can't replace one with the correct gear. What are you giving away? Says Nolan. The Wiz is the best movie soundtrack. That is a good soundtrack. What happened to the 45J? 45J. I haven't done a show on that in a while. Not sure if we're going to in the future again. Maybe we will. My project just broke. Very hard to troubleshoot. Motor probably busted. That's awful. Okay, so yeah, 45 adapters. Now, if you're interested in something like this, not only are we giving away 2 of them today, but I'm in the process of designing some new things. Maybe some new 45 adapters, maybe some other things. So stay tuned for that. I apologize for the coughing. I am giving away 2 45 adapters. They are not the sky blue. They are the old stock of the, I don't remember what we called these, but they're a shiny blue. And the reason why they have these flat things on the bottom is they are unfinished. So basically, I need to remove these. And then I remove this substrate, and then I even it out, clean it out, sand it down, and it will look like a 45 adapter. So we test it out, finished out, and all that good stuff. And again, we'll do 2 of these. And we're going to give away 2 of them right now, as soon as I finish coughing. Yes. I like how it comes back blurry, like I'm coming back out of a dream. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jack. Sometimes if I just talk too much, I've been talking for 45 minutes here, it just sets it off. Okay, so we're going to give away 2 of these adapters. Here's how it works. I'm going to ask 2 trivia questions, one at a time, and we're going to give them away to the first person that gets the right answer. Now, you don't put your answer in the comment section. Please don't put it in the comment section. You're actually going to put your answer in an email. First person to email me the correct answer wins. Now, you have to be over 18 years of age. Okay? You have to be anywhere in the world, so that's easy enough. And if you have won something before, go ahead and let somebody else enter. I would ask that we let some new people win. And also, don't forget to include your address and your name in the answer. So when you email me, you can put giveaway answer, whatever. Put question number 1 for the first one. If you're answering the second question, question number 2. And then your address. That would be good. That would be really, really good. So, and these will be finished, and I'll throw in some stickers and some stuff like that and ship it off to you this week. And again, open to anybody. And please don't put the answer. No, Jack, sorry, you have to be over 18. You can have a parent enter, but unfortunately you have to be 18 to enter. So what this is going to be is the biggest thing is don't put your answer in the comment section because people want to do that. And I don't want to kind of give it away. I'm sorry. I know. Not my rules, unfortunately. But I appreciate you being there very, very much. So let me open up my email. It's going to be Record-ology1938@gmail.com. That's the address. Record-ology1938@gmail.com. In fact, to make it easy, I'm going to put it in the comments here. Record-ology1938@gmail.com. I think you can just click on this link too. So Record-ology1938@gmail.com. Please do not put your answer in the comment section. LPM 1192. Hold on, we got a Glenn Miller. I love receiving records and gifts from you guys, by the way. Some amazing gifts have been sent. And if anybody is interested, Mrs. Record-ology, aka Rain, loves Disney pins, pinback buttons, little things like that. She would just be delighted to receive something from you guys if you are so inclined. You guys are so awesome. That is a good record. I have that. I have a couple copies of that, my friend Stephen. Thank you so much for thinking of me, though. That's a great, great record. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of me. Okay. This is going to be an easy one, okay? For most people, this is going to be an easy one. So get your email ready. Make sure you include your name and your address. You're over 18. Name and your address. Put in the subject line, giveaway number 1. Giveaway number 1. First person with the correct answer. Ready? For 1 free 45 adapter. The question is, what year did Record-ology first appear on YouTube? What year did Record-ology first appear on YouTube? I may or may not have been coughing off camera. All right, let's see if we have a winner. Let's see if we have a winner. And we do. We have a winner. The answer was April 2017. I even got the month. I'm impressed. So the winner is Sanad Mahmood. Thank you so much for entering and congratulations. This adapter is going to Jordan. That's cool. I think that's very, very cool. Thank you so much. But if you didn't win, don't worry. We got another one. We're going to do it right now. So for another 45 adapter that looks a lot like the last one, anywhere in the world, you tell me, please be the one to answer this question correctly. All right. Now I got to think of a question. Let's see here. Let's do one record related specifically to, hey, Larry, welcome in. Welcome in. By the way, Larry, you should receive your adapter soon. Larry always buys every color, and he's such a huge help. By the way, thank you for moderating, Larry. Appreciate it. Yes, they are 3D printed. They're designed by one of our viewers and 3D printed, finished by hand. Everyone's a little unique. And we've done a lot of different colors now. Okay, for the second one, the question is going to be, I'm prepared, as you can see. What would be a good question? There's a lot of different directions we can take this. Should we do a music artist related thing, a technology thing? Anissa, welcome in. Thank you so much. That cleaning buddy. Yeah, I like that. I do the same thing, like doing dishes or doing something around the house and just have somebody blabbing in the background can be a nice thing. I totally do that too. So I'm very glad that you are here. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. A history question. That's a good idea. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I think I've got one. This is a two-part question. This is kind of tricky. Back in the late 40s and early 50s, RCA started color coding their 45 RPM records. And they were color coded by genre. So each genre would be a certain color of a record. And you could tell at a glance that a certain color meant a certain genre. What colors were used for kids' records and for classical records? The two most common that you'll come across today. What colors were used for each? They have to answer both of those with your name, Record-ology1938@gmail.com. Let's see who wins. Don't put anything in nothing in the comments. No hints, no tips, no tricks. Films and projectors and cameras, Old Radio says. I know. I need to do more with that. But I was at the thrift store today, by the way, and I found there was a little 8mm, I think it was a super 8mm projector. It was missing the reels. It's kind of tempting, though. It made me think, though, I really need to do something with my projectors. I've got some cool films. We need to do more on that. When I had the membership only videos, and I've released a couple of them to the public channel that show the projectors and the films, and it was a lot of fun. My Keystone projector needs a new bulb, as you can see, and this is an odd, doesn't exist anymore bulb. So I've got to find something that is the same compatibility. All right, let's see here. Do we have a winner? Giveaway number 2. And we do have a winner. Let me make sure. I am verifying. All right. The winner is Ralph. You have won a 45 adapter, Ralph. Thank you for entering. And you are correct. It is red and yellow. Red for classical, yellow for children's. Red for classical, yellow for children's. I wish. No, Larry, it's cold. I can't kick it, man. I've kicked it, but I've got this residual. So with that, I want to say thank you to everybody for being there. You guys are awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you. You're amazing. Thank you for being there today, especially. Keep record hunting. Keep having fun. But that's going to do it for today, guys. So see you later. Happy record hunting. See you next time.